Hello, Salado Youth families. Hope that you are doing well and safe wherever you are and whenever you are watching this video. So, I want you to think for just a moment about your close friends, the people, not just acquaintances, but the people you're really close with. Kind of visualize them in your mind. There's probably at least one person among that friend group that you knew the very first time you met them that you were going to be good friends. I have a couple of friends like that. One in particular, Jenna, who I love, is a former youth minister that I know, and we met at a youth ministry conference about 3 months after I started this job. And I knew from the moment I met Jenna, I was going to like her. And a lot of it was that I could tell from the first get go that she was as honest as she could be about who she was as a person and where she thought she stood with you. It was just really refreshing when you're trying to figure out where you fit in a room to have somebody that's just straight up with you and tells you exactly where they are in a very honest sort of way. And so we immediately became friends and still are to this day. And that's exactly what happens in this story in John chapter 1, verses 43 to 51. When Jesus is going to Galilee and he meets a man named Philip, he tells Philip to follow him. And like a lot of these disciples do, that he does. And very quickly, Philip realizes, I have met the Messiah. Just being around him, the mere presence of Jesus. At this point, Jesus has done no miracles. He hasn't thrown out any demons. He's done nothing really amazing, but just being around him, Philip realizes that he has met the Messiah and he can't wait to tell people. So he goes to find his friend Nathaniel. Now, when he tells Nathaniel about this Messiah and where he's from, Nathaniel immediately is skeptical and says, can anything good come out of Nazareth? Now, I've never been to Nazareth. I don't know anything about Nazareth, but every town has a town that they don't like. When I was growing up in Rankin, Texas, it was Ira-An, which was a town near us. You didn't talk to people from Ira-An. You didn't date people from Ira-An. If Jesus had come from Ira-An to Rankin, we would have said, can anything good come out of Ira-An? That's basically how we felt about it. And this is where Nathaniel is. He doesn't believe any of this stuff. He's really skeptical, but he does come anyway. He wants to check it out. So when he's coming up, Jesus is really brutally honest with him and says, now here's a man who doesn't lie, which is funny because he just said nothing good can come out of Nazareth. And well, I mean, he's meeting something good coming out of Nazareth. And Nathaniel doesn't know how Jesus knows anything about him because they've never met. And Jesus says, I saw you under that fig tree. And immediately, again, they realize we have seen something amazing. Nathaniel realizes he has met God's son because only God could know something like that, right? This is a miracle to know where someone was before you've ever met them or seen anything about them. This is before the internet. Remember, you couldn't just stalk their Instagram profile and find out where they were from. This is a miraculous thing. And it's amazing how Nathaniel is seen by Jesus before he ever meets him. And that's how God is with us. God sees us before we ever meet him. God's grace works in us before we ever meet him. God loves us before we ever meet him. And that's a beautiful thing because no matter what we're going through, God already knows. God already knows our struggles. God already knows how we feel. God sees us at a depth that we can't even imagine, more so than we even see ourselves, really. And yet, God loves us. And Jesus, in this passage, tells Nathanael, follow me and you will see more amazing things, and invites him in, despite the fact that he talked bad about him. And that's what God does with us. He invites us in. It's sort of like if we were trying to pick that perfect selfie that we want to show the world. We try to make it really good, right? We try to find the best filter. We want to find the best way to make sure the world knows just how good we look and that we don't look like me, like a bag of rocks. We're trying to make ourselves look as best as we can. But we realize that the best selfie we can show the world is being with someone we love, who loves us in return and sees us as something beautiful, that sees the potential in us and wants us to grow and be the best person that we can be. And that's how Jesus treats Nathaniel, and that's how Jesus treats us. So I pray that we will see that and that we'll dwell in that love and that it can transform our lives. Praying for all of you. Love you all.